Good morning, everyone. My name is Tamara Tears, and I'm going to be your news reporter this morning. So, in the past few years, media has basically been ruling our world. We read the news, discuss them, and trust them every day. Most of us blindly trust it and don't even notice it. So, today, our team has traveled to a high school in the eastern townships to ask our teenagers what do they think about trusting the media. So now I'm going to pass it on to Francesco. Good morning, Francesco. How are you?
Hi, Tamara. Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you. So I'm Francesco. So today we came to Stansted College High School. We're going to be interviewing some of the fellow students here, some of the millennials that are witnessing this social media interaction on a first-hand type of thing. So let's see if we can find anyone. Oh, hi. Excuse me. Do we have your time for a couple seconds?
For sure.
A couple questions. So, how do you feel your social media interactions are? Are they positive? Are they negative? What do you think when you go on your phone?
Most of the time it's positive for me, but I know some friends that go through bullying or
Oh, bullying.
harassment on social media, yeah.
And how does it take place? Is it directly or is it public humiliation?
It's public, probably. A lot of the school
Very
members
interesting.
see it. Yeah,
Very interesting. Well, thank you for your time.
no problem.
So now we're going to find another student to ask some questions to, so just follow me.
5'6".
Sir, can I have a couple seconds of your time?
Sure, of course.
So we're doing a quick interview with some Stansted College students about their social media interactions and just their online interactions overall. So just out of curiosity, as a student here, you use the internet a lot for your research.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And so do you usually bring yourself to believing what you read and everything you read, or do you question it once or twice?
For the most part, I do believe it, but there's sometimes where I can question it due to their beliefs and stuff like that, and
Interesting.
their ways that they think.
And when you question it for a second time, do you think that this questioning is influenced by social media interactions, or do you think that it's something that you were raised to go forth with?
I think that it's like the way you were raised.
Oh,
That's how I believe.
okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have today. Back to you, Tamara.
Thank you, Francesco, for this interview. So, as you just heard, the students have very different opinions on the subject and its impacts. So, now for further explanations, I will pass it on to my colleague Joseph for him to explain to you the dangers of blindly trusting the media. Hi, Joseph.
Thank you, Tamara, for this brief introduction. As one of the students we have discussed with, as mentioned, cyberbullying is an impact of the media. Teenagers do not always understand what they are against and think that their actions don't have consequences, but they do. Just because those kids see this behavior in movies or at the television, they think it is acceptable for them to do. They think the media is always right and shouldn't be questioned. This isn't only a couple teenagers, but it is the matter of an entire generation. Children, teens, parents, and elders think that the media knows everything and the news are always right. This is a common misconception. The media often shapes the perfect person or the perfect behavior, which shapes an idea of how everyone should be, which is wrong, which is a negative nurture. Furthermore, the media is what conveys messages and the news throughout the nations. It also controls what the population sees and listens to. The media chooses what the people will believe and what they won't. Many newspapers and private broadcasters depend on support from the political parties. They broadcast the ideas of the favored political parties, and by repeating them, it leads to the biased shaping of a child's mind. So, in my opinion, it is very important to look for multiple different point of views and to take in all the information and then, in the end, shape your own opinion. So to finish off today's report, we have a special guest on Skype call all the way from Greece, Simon Blackburn, a renowned philosopher.
Oh, hi. Thank you very much, Joseph. My name is Simon Blackburn, a renowned philosopher. Today I wanted to take a couple minutes to discuss Plato's Allegory of the Cave. Imagine a cave in which there are three prisoners. The prisoners are tied to some rocks, Their arms and legs are bound, and their heads are tied so that they cannot look at anything but the wall in front of them. Excuse me. This, these prisoners have been here since birth and have never seen outside of the cave. Behind the prisoners is a fire, and between them is a raised walkway. People outside the cave walk along this walkway. Let's call them puppeteers. So imagine that you are one of these prisoners. You cannot look at anything behind or to the side of you. You must look at the wall in front of you. When the puppeteers walk along the walkway, you can see shadows of the objects they carry cast onto the wall. If you had never seen the real objects ever before, you would believe that the shadows of the objects were real. One of the prisoners that escapes from their bindings leaves the cave, and he is shocked at the world that he discovers outside of the cave and does not believe it can be real. As he becomes used to his new surroundings, he begins to realize that his former view of reality was merely incorrect. He begins to understand this new world. And sees the sun as his source of life and begins experiencing things, but for real. He sees that his former life is a mere twisted reality. The prisoner returns to the cave to inform the other prisoners of his findings, but when he does this, they actually don't believe him, and instead threaten to kill him if he tried to free them. Now this is interesting. Now let's take a deeper dive into Plato's cave. In theory, the cave represents people who believe in knowledge that comes from what we see and hear in the world. This is known as empirical evidence. The cave shows that believers of empirical knowledge are trapped in a cave of misunderstanding. The shadows represent the perceptions of those who believe empirical evidence ensures knowledge. If you believe that what you see should be taken as truth, then you are merely seeing a shadow of the truth. In Plato's opinion and his vocabulary, you are a pleb. Now, pleb is the language that philosophers used. This is how they referred to non-philosophers, regular people type of thing. The escaped prisoner represents the philosopher in this story, in this theory. He seeks knowledge outside of the cave and outside of his senses. The sun actually represents philosophical truth and knowledge. His intellectual journey represents a philosopher's journey, one finding truth and wisdom. The other prisoner's reaction to the escapee returning represents that people are scared of knowing philosophical truths and do not trust philosophers. People are frightened when they are given the opportunity to seek wisdom outside of what they already know. Now, this is what the entire allegory, one may say, represents at its core. In a nutshell, if one would say, it's a theme. It's a recurring theme, and it was then, and it is now. Honestly, Joseph, okay? Because if we look at society, it's as if they are all trapped in one big cave. But no, they are not trapped. They are willingly staying within the cave because it's what they know. It's what they've always known. And it's gotten to the point where they are frightened of the truth. They are frightened to know what lays outside of the cave. Anyways, this is all the time I have for today. Thank you, Joseph, for your time.
So that would be all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.